Ever notice how many TradingView indicators call themselves super? Today we're putting 3 of them to the test. No rankings, just honest assessment of whether these tools are actually super or just another moving average with a fancy name. Super B. Created by Raphael Zioni, this Pine script indicator combines volume price trend analysis with adaptive supertrend logic to generate trend-following signals. It calculates a volume-weighted price projection by analyzing the relationship between price spread and volume flow, then applies dynamic support and resistance bands with percentage-based breakout filtering. The system then applies exponential smoothing to these projections, creating the base value for supertrend band calculations. The supertrend component constructs upper and lower bands using ATR multiples around the volume-adjusted price projection rather than raw price data. This creates bands that respond to both volatility and volume characteristics simultaneously. The default multiplier of 1.0 produces relatively tight bands compared to traditional supertrend implementations that typically use 2.0 to 3.0 factors. The adaptive trend logic introduces percentage-based hysteresis through a factor input with a default of 5%. Trends only reverse when price crosses the opposing band by more than this percentage threshold, filtering minor whipsaws that plague standard supertrend systems during consolidation. The indicator tracks high and low prices within each trend phase, maintaining these extreme values until the percentage threshold breach confirms reversal. Signal generation occurs when trend direction changes from bullish to bearish or vice versa, marked with buy and sell labels on the chart. The system uses time-based tracking to ensure signals only trigger on initial crossovers rather than every bar where the trend condition remains true. Real-world application faces challenges from the multi-layered calculation complexity. Each component, VPT calculation, shadow projection, volume spread analysis, and adaptive supertrend, introduces potential lag and sensitivity issues. The volume normalization dividing by the high-low range can produce extreme values during low volatility periods when ranges compress, potentially distorting the VPT calculation. The system works best on liquid instruments with consistent volume patterns where the volume-weighted projections provide meaningful information. The indicator attempts an innovative combination of volume analysis and adaptive trend filtering, but suffers from overcomplicated calculations that obscure rather than clarify market structure. The volume projection methodology, using shadow extensions, lacks clear theoretical justification, while the percentage-based hysteresis adds value but cannot compensate for the underlying complexity. SuperTrend Toolkit. Created by Li Cobra, this indicator re-implements the classic SuperTrend methodology using modern Pine script v5 architecture with custom-type structures. It calculates dynamic support and resistance bands based on average true range multiplied by a user-defined factor, switching between upper and lower bands as price crosses these thresholds to identify trend direction. The indicator constructs synthetic OHLC bars from any input source, enabling supertrend calculation on non-standard data like volume-weighted prices or custom oscillators. This flexibility allows traders to apply trend-following logic to derived metrics, rather than limiting analysis to traditional price action. The ATR calculation uses RMA, smoothing with configurable period length, while the band logic employs trailing stop methodology that only moves in the trend direction. Directional signals generate when price crosses from one band to the other, triggering immediate trend reversals. The system marks these transitions with styled labels displaying B for bullish and S for bearish changes. Users can enable contrarian mode to receive signals opposing the supertrend direction, appealing to mean reversion traders who fade trend changes rather than following them. Real-world application benefits from the indicator's clean implementation of a proven concept. SuperTrend remains popular among swing traders for its ability to ride extended moves while providing clear exit points when trends exhaust. Customization covers essential parameters: ATR period length, multiplier factor, contrarian signal toggle, and color preferences. The default settings of 10 period length with 5.0 multiplier create relatively wide bands, suited for longer-term positioning, though shorter timeframes typically require tighter parameters to capture meaningful moves. The indicator delivers a competent implementation of SuperTrend with useful architectural improvements through custom types and source flexibility. However, it doesn't extend beyond the standard methodology with adaptive features, multi-time frame analysis, or volatility regime detection that would elevate it from a solid educational example to an advanced trading tool. Bjorgum SuperScript. Created by Bjorgum, this Pine script consolidates multiple technical analysis systems into a single interface with 4 selectable strategy modes: BJ reversal, MA crossovers, TRM, and RSI color coding. It combines Tilson T3 moving averages, HEMA, TSI, RSI, and parabolic SAR into a unified framework with extensive customization and alert capabilities. The BJ reversal strategy uses dual T3 moving averages to identify trend continuation and reversal patterns. Price positions relative to these smoothed lines generate 4 distinct candle color states: bullish trend in blue, bearish trend in red, and 2 reversal conditions in yellow when price crosses against the primary trend. The T3 algorithm applies triple exponential smoothing with adjustable alpha parameters, creating lag-reduced moving averages that respond faster than traditional EMAS while filtering noise. The MA strategy employs 3 configurable moving averages with 11 type options, such as EMA, T3, or WMA. Each average can use different calculation methods and periods, with the system coloring bars, based on price position, relative to all 3 averages simultaneously. This creates a consensus-based approach where bars only show bullish signals when price exceeds all configured averages. The TRM strategy combines TSI crossovers with RSI threshold filtering to generate buy and sell signals. It requires both indicators to align in the same direction. TSI must cross above its signal line, while RSI stays above 50 for buys, with inverse conditions for sells. This dual confirmation approach attempts to reduce false signals that occur when momentum indicators conflict. The RSI color mode assigns 20 distinct color gradients based on RSI values in 5-point increments from 0 to 100. This creates a visual heat map directly on price bars, allowing traders to identify momentum extremes and divergences without referencing separate indicator panels. The Bjorgum buy rating table aggregates signals from all 9 components: TRM, reversal, TSI curl, RSI, 3MAS, and SAR, into a scored summary. Each component receives +1 for bullish, -1 for bearish, or 0 for neutral. Real-world application benefits from the modular design that lets traders test different technical approaches without switching indicators. The comprehensive alert system supports 16 distinct conditions with both traditional alert condition and dynamic alert functions, enabling granular notification control. However, the complexity creates a steep learning curve, and the lack of backtesting statistics makes it difficult to determine which strategy mode performs best. Customization reaches exceptional depth with over 100 input parameters controlling colors, periods, alert toggles, display options, and calculation methods. The indicator demonstrates professional architecture with sophisticated technical implementations and exceptional customization depth. However, it functions more as a technical analysis workstation than a focused trading system, offering breadth over specialized precision. The absence of adaptive logic or statistical validation leaves traders relying on manual optimization across numerous parameter combinations. Looking for more TradingView indicator reviews? Check out our latest video, where we review 3 powerful trend indicators.